look into the camera and tell them why they should watch Classic Who and how they should watch it. They've only watched the revamp.
Okay, from my perspective, it's like people go on about the 6th and 7th Harry Potter books without, like, reading any of the first, and you're like, guys, there's all this stuff here. It is 26 years worth of material. It is hours and hours and hours, and it is important to the show. If you listen to David Tennant interviews, he grew up watching this. He loves Doctor Who. Stephen Moffat loves Doctor Who. The entirety of Doctor Who. This is still the same. It's kind of different, but it's the same show. It's the same Doctor. You see the progression of his personality and how things happen, and it's fun. He travels through time in a blue police box. Time and space, it's still the same basic concept, and it's fantastic. Yes, there are some that are a bit cheesier. There are some where the effects are terrible, but there are some where the effects are, I wouldn't say fantastic, but okay. Actually,
for that time,
Enlightenment has pretty good special effects. And not just they've done, some of them they've done like remastered ones. And I know the remastered Enlightenment has like actually CGI ships, but the original Enlightenment they did like models and things, and it's pretty fantastic. But so yeah, some of them are like guys in bubble wrap on the floor. But that's honestly me. That's part of the charm. Part of the charm is like Ian shaking the door, going, "Barbara, it won't move. It's solid stone," and the entire set is shaking, and it's wonderful. But like it's the imagination. Some of the scripts are fantastic, and you need to see what's meant to be there. It's fun. It's really fun. As far as how you would watch it, I have a friend who did this, who's like, I'm gonna start at the beginning and watch everything in order. I didn't do that. The way it's set up is, instead of like having 1 45-minute episodes or 2 45-minute episodes of story, you'll have like 25-minute episodes, and you'll usually have like 4 to 6 in a certain story. There are some that are, the Daleks master plan is 12, but that doesn't exist anymore. There are some that are like 1 episode. So it's set up differently, and the pacing is different, so it takes a bit to adjust to. As I said, I don't recommend starting with the first Doctor and going onward, mostly because besides the first episode of An Unearthly Child, the rest of it is god-awful boring.
It really is.
Yeah. But
so how would you
I started watching it with the second Doctor, actually, just because that's what I found first. And I think it's easier to go from 11 to 2, just because they're very similar. I know it's been on record stating that Matt Smith pulled a lot from Pratchett Troughton. I started with 2 watching the full serials. I've gone back since and watched like fan reconstructions on YouTube, because all the audio still survives. It's just the film is gone. But so I started watching full serials with 2, and then I went back and watched some 1, and then I watched some 3, and then I skip around. I just kind of watch the ones I want to. I've done 4. Actually started watching 5 with Modern Undead because of Turlo. I haven't actually seen any 6. I've watched some of 7. Haven't seen 8. So like, and I skip around. I mean, you have the rest of your life to watch this. You're not like, and so keep some Doctor Who for you to still watch. Also, like in my case, I don't have a lot of people to talk about this with, so it's not like when I watched New Who, the 6 seasons in 2 weeks because I was obsessed with it, and then I was like, I need to be able to talk about this with my friends, and this is the only time I have to watch this. As opposed to like Classic Who, I mostly rant at people about it, but like when I talk about it, I just consider it to be part of Doctor Who. So it's not like I try to be like, and then Classic Who, but it's just what I've been watching most recently. So I bring it up because it's still part of the show and still part of Doctor Who. Mm-hmm. But did I cover why people should watch Classic Who well enough?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you got that, yeah.
Just, it still is Doctor Who, and there's some really beautiful things, and it's not all cheesy bad. There are some that actually tackle difficult, dark issues. There are some that are terrible. There are some that are really terrible. There's sometimes I watch it and I'm like, Doctor Who, you are living down to your reputation. And some of them far exceed my expectations. Ghostlight is fantastic. There are actually quite a few Classic Who references in the new series that like completely go over your head if you don't. Like in Tooth and Claw, the Doctor says his name is James McCribbin,
Mm-hmm.
which is Jamie McCrimmon was a second Doctor.
Oh.
Jamie McCrimmon is like the Doctor Who girl of the second Doctor, which is weird, but it's true. It's true. Yeah. So can I go on a Jamie McCrimmon rant? I love Jamie
Sure,
McCrimmon.
go on your Jamie.
He was an 18th century Highland piper. So he and Victoria Waterfield are like the last historic companions in the fact that they like were from a time period set before the present that it was filmed. Also, at one point, you had Jamie and Zoe, who is, like, from the 21st century on a space station. So, like, that was cool. You had this dynamic, and you had the past companions, and they would get like, what is this thing? And the Doctor would be like, it's plastic. But it's so smooth! Like, it's plastic. This actually happens in the Ice Warriors. I'm not making this up. But, yeah, Jamie McCrimmon, and he just... I've heard somebody describe, like, the way Rory handles things, weird things, is he just is sane at them. That's kind of Jamie's... Like, because he's way out of his depth. He's from the 18th century. He's just, like, completely sane at everything and just takes it in stride and is not afraid to, like, tell the Doctor when he's being stupid. And Patrick Troughton and Fraser Hines were pretty good friends in real life and shows. But he's the first companion that I think, like, if he hadn't had to leave, he was forced to leave, would have just been with the Doctor forever, and the Doctor probably would have let him. I love Jamie. But Donna was not the first companion to go mind wiped. Jamie and Zoe were mind wiped by Time Lords and stuck back in their respective timelines.
But they're not going to die if the Doctor shows up and sees them? Or is it the same thing?
Well, the Time Lords were still active at this point, so he was prevented from going and fixing them.
Oh, okay.
And also, like, Jamie McCrimmon was basically dropped back onto when they took Jamie, all his friends and family were on a boat to France, and, like, they had been saved from being hanged and or sold into slavery in the West Indies, so he was not in a good situation in his own time period, so then he got dropped back off into the battle, and, like, runs in a red coat, so it's like, Jamie McCrimmon probably died.
Oh.
Because that war did not go well for the Highlanders.
No. Oh. That's sad. It's okay.
Planet of Fire, which is Turlough's last episode. I don't remember if it was written by a woman, but it was directed by a woman, and it kind of shows. Turlough goes out with backstory and fan service. It's like the most blatant male fan service there is. Actually, I think the first...
More than Jack Harkness.
In Classic Who.
Okay.
Yeah. But he, like, strips down to a Speedo for, like, no apparent reason. I actually like the suit better. But the first male shirtless scene, though, I think was actually John Pertwee in Spearhead from Space, the third Doctor.
Okay.
He's, like, in the shower. It's like, thank you, okay. Well, actually, there might have been some, like, side characters on a planet that weren't wearing shirts or something. The Thralls, I don't think were wearing shirts in the Daleks, but as far as, like, main characters, yeah, John Pertwee in the shower if you're interested.
Nice.
Barbara had pretty sensible shoes, I think. Sometimes with, like, Sarah Jane or Romana's shoes, you're just like, well, that's actually a plot point in Stones of Blood is Romana, like, wearing heels, and he even says, like, those are impractical, and she's like, these are impractical, I need some boots or something. It's like, Stones of Blood, interesting. I mean, they get menaced by, like, 8-foot tall sentient rocks. I'm not even joking. And they'll sneak up on people and then, like, what? Except that halfway through, then it turns into, like, something about, like, robotic justice sparkles. And this is, like, their 100th serial, too. It was supposed to be, like, a momentous thing, and it was like, no. Because especially right before that, you had The Pirate Planet, which was written by Douglas Adams, so it's fantastic.